Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So, have you guys ever wondered how the big companies like Amazon, Geo Hotstar, or Netflix, how do they handle the biggest spikes in their traffic? If there is any festival, Amazon will run festive season sale, and if there is any cricket live or any finals that are happening, how these companies are able to handle the biggest huge surge in their traffic to their servers, right? If they are not prepared for it, if they have not planned for their infrastructure, they can lose, their systems will go down, right? It has happened with biggest players in the world, right? So what are they trying to do here, right? So that is where we the capacity planning comes into picture. So how well these guys are planning their infrastructure to handle that kind of the user base, right? So in the previous videos, right, we have seen the system design steps, right? So we have discussed about requirements gathering, requirements gathering, and then we have in this requirement gathering we will discuss, we'll create something called business requirement document or uh, project requirement document, right? And then we will have the capacity planning, right? So right now we are in the second step where we are talking about the capacity planning, right? And after this, next step will be the high level design document, low level design document, and so on, right? That we have discussed previously. So in this capacity planning, from in the day zero itself, which will be covered in this business requirement document, like what would be the infrastructure that we need, like on day one, right, to 1 year down the line, to 3 year down the line, and maximum 5 years down the line. It is the industry standard that we need to be prepared until 5 years. All right. So next, um, any project, mid-scale project or huge project, right? So these are the steps where it will initially take maybe 2 to 3 months, right? Solid 2 to 3 months. Any architect or any project level discussions will happen with the stakeholders, and these things will be decided. So now coming to the question that we are talking about, what is capacity planning, right? So the capacity planning is, right, so from the day zero itself, right? If you are planning any system or a software, like it can be the online platform like Amazon, Flipkart, or any REG system, or agentic AI system, any system. So you need to have this infrastructure planned so that you can run your systems smoothly. All right. So what is the definition that we are talking about here, right? um, in a layman term, if I have to explain, right, this is like, that's a technical definition, but in the layman term, if I have to explain, we need to know the number of, let's say if we are building a stadium, we know how many uh, capacity, what is the how many number of seats that that are there, and what is the capacity of the stadium, and based on that only we can issue the tickets to them, right? If we issue more tickets, more people are coming and more we issue the tickets, then it's going to be chaos, right? So similarly, capacity planning is also something similar, right? It is an estimation or a summary of every component, right? Its utilization and the load our system will take when it goes live, so that it never breaks at any point in time. So that is the capacity planning. All right. So now in this video, let us discuss what are all the components that we have to consider while designing a capacity planning, right? And in the next video, we will take some examples and then try to understand the systems. All right. So there are some terminologies are there which I will list it here, and then we will discuss in detail in the next video by taking some examples, right? Next, first we have something called daily active users. The business, these are the initial assumptions that you have to make in your business requirement document, and it will be given by the business, the end users. They know what are their customer, what is their customer base, and they'll be able to give you this daily active users. And then similarly, we'll be consider called requests per user per day. Request per user per day. So with this user base, how many requests per user will come to your server, will hit your server, how many requests per user per day, that is what we're going to list it over here. And then we have total requests per day, total requests per day. And the fourth one is read write ratio, read write ratio. So what is the read write ratio? How many users are writing to your system, and how many users are reading data from your system. So that is the read write ratio, right, from the customers, right? See, total requests per day, like what is total requests per day? It will be the daily active users, DAO we say, into requests per user per day. That is second option, right? So it's all interrelated. If you change one parameter, the other parameters will keep changing, right? So that's why we have to be very careful about these things. So next, fifth point that we are talking about is RPS, requests per second. Requests per second, we call it as RPS. Okay. And sixth one, we call it as read RPS. Read RPS. Then seventh one is write RPS, request per second. Eighth one is peak of it. Okay, at any point in time, this is a normal usage of a normal daily usage, but there will be some peak time. Usually we consider it as 3 to 5 times, right? So we have the peak RPS. RPS, usually it is considered as 3 times to 5 times. Okay, then we have data size per record, right? If any requirement requests come when they write data, right? So we need to have the data size. Let me do this way. Data size per record is, so that it is easy for us to calculate how much data will come. All right, data size per record. Then we have based on this data size per record, okay, what we do is daily storage growth, daily storage growth. Based on the daily, it is easy to develop the yearly storage growth. Yearly storage growth, which is nothing but daily storage growth into multiply by 365. That will be yearly storage growth. Then we will have 12th one is bandwidth calculation. When it comes to bandwidth calculation, like what is the bandwidth that we needed to serve each request within the from the servers, right? So each read request and then write request, even during the peak as well, right? All these things will be considered. And then 13th point is cache requirement. So any request that comes to the server, you don't have to hit the DB every time. If it is there in the cache, usually very famous one is Redis here in this case. If it is there in the server cache, the system can serve it very fast. That is the cache requirement. And then we have the 14th one is database requirement. Database requirement, right? And database requirement is the DB storage and number of servers that it reads. And 15th is what we have is when we have the database, ideally we will have replication factor. Industry standard is 3 replication factors, usually, which we see from the data engineering background. If you have come across, there will be 3 replication factors in SDFS. So similarly, it is the case here as well, replication factor of 3. And then we have the CDN requirement. Content delivery network requirement. So if a user is, let's say I am hitting from Bangalore, India, and hitting the YouTube. So YouTube servers maybe in US, right? So what they do is they will have their own servers in multiple regions. So I will be hitting the nearest server, content delivery network, content delivery server, so that I'll be served with minimum latency. Not necessarily that I'll be hitting the US server, right? So for that we need to have plan for content delivery network as well to handle the latency and throughput. And next one is backup requirement. Backup requirement in case of any unexpected server down or region itself is down, then we need to have a proper backup of our data. And the final one is future growth. All right, so it will usually be 1x to 3x and 5x, 5 times the growth that you will be able to plan. All right, so what all we have done in the capacity planning. So these things we need to consider to make sure that our system is up and running in any surge of traffic to our system, right? So in the capacity planning, we will definitely look into these things in the next video. We'll take some example and then try to understand how these values are derived and how we can plan our infrastructure so that the system can be handled well, it can run smoothly, right? So with this, we'll end this session here. In the next session, we'll take some example and then try to understand each of these parameter, how it is derived with the help of a examples. Okay, we'll take some existing systems and then see how we can come to values, come to conclusion of each of these value in the business requirement step itself. All right, I hope you enjoyed the session. See you in the next video. Thank you.